Coach Deborah has a passion and purpose to assist young men, ages 15 to 24, to overcome obstacles and build their best lives. She wants to see every young man live out their potential. She has a master's degree in human services counseling, with a major in life coaching. More importantly, she is the mother of 3 boys, who are exceptional, educated, professional men. Coach Deborah believes it is better to train early, rather than need to fix later. She utilizes basic principles and God-led concepts. Sometimes the only thing a young man has is their credibility or their name. The actions they take are based on the decisions they make. Those decisions align with their choices and result in consequences. Coach Deborah can assist you if you are lost, floundering, or confused. Embrace the help and start building your best life today.
Good evening, good evening. Welcome to Build Your Best Life. I am Dan Smith, your host for tonight. Coach Deborah is a little bit under the weather, so I will be hosting tonight. But I believe that it's better to train early rather than to fix later. It's all about reach. The December theme is reaching out for financial peace. And our special guest is none other than Pastor and Coach Ricardo Miller. He's the author of Effecting Living. I'm going to emphasize this: effective, not just living, but effective living.
Yes, sir.
So he is the author, and he will be our speaker today. Thank you for joining us, Coach Ricardo. How are you and your family?
I am doing well, Deacon Dan, and it's good to be able to join you. And thank you so much for stepping in and hosting tonight. Please pass on to Coach Deborah that I'm praying for her and speedy recovery. I know this weather is so unpredictable and how it affects people so many different ways. It's messed me up for years. So thank you so much for having me tonight.
Well, thank you for everyone who has supported Build Your Best Life this year. Yeah. Your prayers, likes, comments, shares, and financial support mean a lot. Please continue to like, comment, and share. So we're going to get into the meat of this. Oh, first of all, Coach, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, you know, I'm originally from a place that's close to Florida. You know, I'm not, I'm not a Floridian, but the Bahamas is so close to Florida. Oftentimes, There is no one in Florida, I think, that have not met someone from the Bahamas. That's how closely connected we are. And so I'm Ricardo Miller. I'm from the Bahamas, but I live in Dallas, Texas. I love the Build Your Best Life platform. And my message is that you can be very intentional about creating an amazing life. And that will have you to be intentional in all of what I call faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. And so I think you can have it all. And so it's a joy to be able to be back here on Build Your Best Life. I've written a book, as you mentioned. I'm also a coach and a pastor, and I'm a husband and a father. And I love living life to the fullest.
Well, thank you on that. I am so honored to be the host tonight, and so honored to have the guest who's tonight here, a great young man. Our topic today is preparing your sons for the new year. Yeah. Our young men's son, grandson, friends, mentees, and students have had 350 this year to focus, learn, read, become more knowledgeable, be more effective, etc. Chances are many have not taken advantage of the opportunity and have not made much progress. So, Coach, why do you believe many young men don't engage during their most formative years?
I believe because we have not taught them their why. Why is purpose. Purpose is the why. The late Dr. Miles Monroe said it like this. He says, where purpose is unknown, abuse is inevitable. If you don't know your why, it's going to affect you at your core. And I think that's the issue. Now, the challenge is, the Bible says, train up a child in the way they should go, which is the why. Give their intent and help them capture who they are. Well, a lot of parents don't know who they are. And so it's hard to help someone to figure out who they are when you're the instructor not knowing who you are. It's almost like the blind leading the blind. So we have a misguided generation that's coming up who they're wondering. And every now and again, a coach, a mentor, a minister, an auntie, an uncle, or even a parent may capture it and help to nurture it. But for the most part, there are a lot of young men who just don't get it. And so like Dr. Miles Monroe quote stated, where purpose is unknown, abuse is inevitable. When the why is unknown, it's watch this. If you don't know the reason for a chair, you'll abuse the chair. If you don't know the reason for a car, you'll abuse the car. If you don't know the reason for your life, you will abuse your life. So just as much, when you don't know the reason for a year, why did God give me a year? Why did he give me this season or this opportunity to have life when others would wish they had the chance to still live like so many are given every day?
That's great information. That's great information. One of your recent morning talk dealt with the fact that everyone needs community as they live out their lives. Community is necessary to ensure our young men reach 100% of their potentials. However, I believe that it is essential for parents to be the first in line when present. Now, why is it this is a good time for parents to prepare for their sons for the new year?
Well, preparation is the best route for success. There's a statement that says, he who fails to plan is planning to fail. And so it would be wise to not focus so much on gift giving as much as preparing for what's coming. And for a lot of parents, adulthood is coming, college is coming, first job is coming, First, what's this? Girlfriend is coming, boyfriend is coming. Preparation is the best route for success. So I believe that for the parents who are listening, you got to tell yourself, hey, sometimes during this month before we go into the new year, I have to commit to sitting down and walking my child through this understanding of what could be if they take advantage of the new year and preparing for it. Preparing for the new year is the way you get the most out of the new year.
That's good. Taking advantage and preparing. Y'all hear that? Taking advantage and preparing for the new year.
Yep.
We all need to do that. Take advantage and prepare. Because if you prepare, you can handle anything.
Yep.
Coach Ricardo, what are your top 3 tips for parents to share to assist their child in preparing for the New Year's?
Well, I would say, what's my top 3 tips? I would say number 1 is goal setting. I would say goal setting. I think I wrote this down. I was thinking about goal setting over the last couple of weeks and encourage your child to have a glimpse of what they want to acquire. That's what goal setting is about. What do you want out of January? What do you want out of January, February, March? What do you want by summer? What do you want by the end of the year? Number 1, I would say goal setting. Everyone needs to encourage their children to have goals. Deacon Dan, when a child has goals, when a child has goals, getting up out of the bed is easier in the mornings.
Right.
Okay? When the child who has a goal to be a lawyer, understand that I cannot be a lawyer and not appreciate the teachers. I got to appreciate the teacher because the teacher is going to help me be a lawyer. It's the student, Deacon Dan, it's the boy who says, I want to be a police officer. But here's the deal. Well, if the goal is to become a police officer, guess what you cannot do? You can't be wayward. You can't hang out with the gang. You can't put tattoos on your face. I mean, come on. The goal is going to govern your behavior. The goal is going to govern your behavior. So number 1, I would say we have to help our boys. We have to help our kids. What do you want out of this next year? What do you want out of the first 3 months? What do you want? That's number 1. Okay. Now I notice I see Jason Basin is here from Canada. Jason is going to go ahead and tell us, Deacon Dan, what he think is some of the goals that he got. Some boys. Jason got some good boys, and so these are good for him as well. So number 2, I would say this is my principle. Number 2 is time management. Time management, Deacon Dan. A lot of us hear things like, I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. What in the world you mean you don't have enough time? When the truth is, Deacon Dan, all of us have been given the same amount of time. 24 hours in a day. That's the equal. Listen, the rich have the same amount of time. The poor has the same amount of time. Now, the question is, are we going to teach our boys? Are we going to teach our young people how to use that time? One of the things that I teach my clients, Deacon Dan, is second, minutes, and hours is just like the rich who understand nickels, pennies, and quarters matter when it comes to balancing the books. You're in business, and you know that, right? Listen, right. You're like, listen, the coins matter. and if enough coins are taken away from everybody, someone can become extremely rich by coins.
Correct.
It's the same thing. If you learn to manage your life, Jason Basin, I know you like this. There's my wife. You saw my wife just pop up there. Yeah. Listen, my wisdom just went to the next level. My points is just gonna go off the chart, Deacon Dan, because Karen Miller is watching, right? But time management, and a lot of people, they want more, but they don't value time. Your life is going to reflect how well you've dealt with the time that you've been given. Watch this. If you waste your childhood years, it'll show and reflect in your teenage years. If you waste your teenage years, it will reflect in your 20s. You waste your 20s, you will feel it in your 30s. You waste your 20s and 30s, you will have a hard 40. You waste the first 40 years of your life, the latter 40 years of your life is going to be a lot more difficult than that of the first because you did not do well with time. I believe that we have to teach our kids, just like we tell them to count pennies, nickels, and quarters, we have to tell them count minutes, seconds, and hours. And the last one I would say is resilience in the face of challenges. Being resilient. Now, life has challenges that we have no control over. Everybody is going to face some challenges at some point. And I believe that we have to help our kids to learn the importance of being resilient in the face of challenges. That's my number 3. Resilient in the face of challenges. Now, here's the deal. You can't be a quitter. You can't be a quitter. There's no quitting in you. It's going to be hard. The test is going to be hard. The boss is going to be hard. The teacher is going to be hard. The coach is going to be hard. Sometimes the weather is going to be inconvenient and not be the most suitable weather. Sometimes the clothes may not be what you prefer, but you got to have that push through type of attitude and that type of spirit that says, I am going to be resilient. I'm going to be determined. I'm going to be very driven. Now, there are a lot of people who want more, but they're not resilient. They don't have a good bounce back. They don't have a good bounce back. And so I believe that it is very important that we understand that setbacks are a part of growth and provides guidance along the way. Setbacks are going to happen, okay? But here's the deal. What you did not do well in doesn't have to define you. Right. There's a statement under the name of a book that John Maxwell wrote, and it's called Failing Forward. Failing forward. What does it mean? In other words, you may have fallen down, but you don't have to stay down. You're still moving forward. Yes, you may have not done well at this junction of your life, in this season of your life. Michael Jordan was put off of the basketball team in high school because they thought, oh my goodness, you ain't got no skills. But he was determined to say, you know what? Yes, I may have not made the team at one junction in my life, but my goal, you remember the goal? Remember I had that first one? The goal was that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to practice twice as hard, sometimes 3 times as hard. And I'm going to put in the work. And when my chance come again, because here's the deal, when you're resilient, your chance is going to come again. Even though you may have failed, and even though you may have found that life did not work itself out for you at a particular junction, you don't have to give up. You can fight the good fight of faith. So that's my number 3. Number 1 would be goal setting. Everybody should teach their children, teach their boys goal setting. Number 2 is time management. Time wasted is time you will never have again. Number 3, resilient in the face of challenges. Life is going to throw you some challenges. And here's what you cannot do. You cannot throw a tantrum. Now, Deacon Dan, have you ever seen an adult throw a tantrum, or you ever seen a teenager throw a tantrum? They do occasionally, and it's not.
They do.
So resilient in the face of challenges. Know that difficulties are going to come. 2024 is not going to be exempt from challenges. But here's what you have to remind yourself. I am built for whatever comes in 2024. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to prepare myself. I'm going to set up goals to ensure that I can assess how well I am doing. So by January 1 to January 31st, look at how well you kick off the year. And if you did not do well in the first month, make it up in the second month. If you didn't do as well in the second month, you start saying by the third month, I'm going to put in double or triple time, burn the midnight oil. You know what I'm saying? Rise early, become more driven in locking in on getting what you said you want.
Okay. Y'all have heard that. Goal setting, time management, and resilience.
Yes.
Those are very important. But I look at stuff I used to tell when I was coaching baseball and football.
Yeah.
And I said softly to all my players.
Yeah.
A quitter never wins.
Mm.
A fighter always wins.
Come on.
So you got to keep fighting. I saw Karen put in there about fighting and be a fighter.
Yes.
So you got to be a fighter in order to win. A quitter, they're not gonna win.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're gonna hold their head and walk away.
Yes.
That's what I had still in the young men's. I had 44 players with 3 different teams, but that's when I instilled in them. In that particular year, we lost all of them.
Wow.
Won all their games with the exception of one team. They lost one.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm very proud of them.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Right. Also, Brother Basin said, what you don't do well, it don't define you who you are.
Right. Correct.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's good. That's good. That's good. Also, parents often would like to sit down and have crucial conversation with their sons.
Yeah.
To assist them in gaining the ability to manage their lives more effectively. However, they don't engage. But, I with the sons I have, always sit down and talk to them. And that's something my mama told me. And I tell them all the time. She says, work hard.
Yeah.
Do what you're supposed to do. Don't mind how they talk about you. Don't worry about them supervisors. But she said, one thing I want you to do, if they put the hands on you, then you got to be a fighter. So, so I did my work in there. I never had to be a fighter.
I want to say, Brady Robinson, did you hear that advice just now? I know Jason Baston, that he's a good friend of mine in Canada. I know he has a black belt in karate. And I know he probably taught his kids how to hold it down. I often remind Deacon Dan, Jason is a pastor, and I reminded him when I was about 16, some guy tried to come and approach me, and he had on a black belt, and he was a karate guy. And I'm from the street, so I had to show him where that karate ain't gonna work on me. But no, Brady Robinson, you hear that? You hear it from Deacon Dan, train Chance to say, hey, learn how to defend yourself, Chance. Know how to protect your face. Protect your face.
That's right. Protect their face. That's right. Okay, what are some of the barriers that causes young men to reject conversation related to managing their lives and becoming more effective?
I think an unwillingness to express themselves. I think that's one of them. Unwilling to express themselves. And I think parents, if your child doesn't express themselves well, you need to work on that. And it's going to be critical along the way. It's communication. It's effective communication. It's going to be one of the things they're going to need. They need to know how to express themselves when they get married. They need to know how to express themselves with their boss. They need to know how to express themselves with co-workers. They need to know how to express themselves in the community. Unwilling to express themselves is an issue at a high level when it comes to young men. And so we need to, now here's the deal. The unwillingness to express themselves, and then watch this. I'm going to put a reverse on that. And number 2 is an unwillingness to allow them to express themselves. Okay. Right? That right there, I had to work on me. So my number 2 is an unwillingness to allow them to express themselves. So there were times I had to learn how to zip it as the adult and allow him or her, both RJ and Grace, we have to allow them to express themselves. What's on your mind? How you're feeling. What do you want to say? What are you going through? right? Because a lot of times, Deacon Dan, as soon as a child starts to express himself, you know what we do? We shut them down. We shut them down. You know, you're not going to, and I had to learn, I have to teach him, or we have to teach them how to express themselves, right? And then when they don't do it well, don't get so defensive, because you're not going to raise your voice at me. Right now, he's angry. He's frustrated. He don't know how to express himself. I'm going to let him get away with talking right now for right now. However, after this moment, when we get, yesterday you were very upset and you really express yourself. Thank you so much for expressing yourself. However, the way you express yourself was a little disrespectful.
Right.
Don't you raise your voice at me like that again. Now, I think that the time to do that is not when it's all defensive and the energy is high. You got to know how to pull back even as the person in authority. Deacon Dan, you knew in law enforcement that you knew that all depending on how aggravated a person is, the way you approach them is on you as well. They are not only responsible for watching how they respond to you, you are also responsible for paying attention to their energy to not engage, to what they call escalate the issue, because you already can sense the temperament here is aggravated. It's just strong. It's not in a good place. Now, what parents do, Deacon Dan, what a lot of parents do is the child is already in an uncontrollable state, and the parent is going to go match their energy. Guess what? Nobody's going to win there.
Right.
Nobody's going to win. So that unwillingness to, number one, have the child learn to express himself. And then number two is being willing to allow the child to learn how to express himself. And then the last thing I would say is timing is everything. Allowing the children to know timing is everything. And as parents to know timing is everything. You know, a lot of times children say, I had to say something. Based on how things were, you should not have said anything right then. It's not the time. You know, one of the things I was talking to my son about, about the whole idea of being pulled over. You get pulled over and you say, well, he's not communicating to me right. If it's law enforcement, let it go for now. Because right now he's in charge. But there's a process that if you would be patient and wait it out, you can then report this and have it dealt with. Timing. You don't go ahead and be adamant about this particular position right now. You're going to lose, and so timing is everything. And I think the Bible talks about a time for everything under the sun. There's a time to speak and there's a time to shut up.
You're absolutely right on that. Absolutely right. I know we was talking about how you handle, how to tell my officers how they handle situations when they come upon them, a suspect or whatever. Now, they might not even have to be a suspect. Somebody might be having a bad day.
Yeah.
And they come out the wrong way at you, but you don't come back the wrong way at them.
Yep.
You just tell them, hey, wait a minute now. Am I cursing you? Am I talking loud?
Yeah.
And then they finally realize, say, this man here is not cursing me. He didn't curse me. And then turn around and apologize.
Yeah.
And then I remember one of my officers, he was having a little problem. He came into work, come into my office. I mean, he was just yelling, He was just yelling. So I heard him for a few minutes and I told him, I said, look, do me a favor. I kept my voice low key. Step out my office. When you settle down and you want to talk, then you come back.
Yeah.
About 10 minutes later, he'll come back and apologize.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, so I didn't have to jump up and yell at him. Why you get out of my office? No, I didn't say. I said just step out.
Mm-hmm.
And when you come now, you come back and you talk to him.
Yes.
Yeah. So yes, that's right. That's situations. Always tell them the situation that you present yourself. What's the outcome at the end?
That's good.
Right. All right, Coach. We're gonna keep moving. Coach, please give us your final thoughts.
Okay.
On preparing sons for the new year, which will assist them in building their best lives.
I believe, Deacon Dan, I believe, just like this organization, Build Your Best Life, the name says it all. And I think going into 2024, my final advice would be to parents, go ahead and put on that notification bell and says, you know what? I need all the wisdom I can get to raise this boy. And you know, if you're a parent and you have a child who's an adult, you know you ain't done. You ain't done. Even though they're adults, even if they're married, even if they got grandchildren, you ain't done.
Right.
And so wisdom, the Bible says wisdom is the principal thing. And in all you're getting, get an understanding. That's what this platform exists for. It exists to empower you. It exists to open your eyes to get an understanding so that you don't suffer. You know, the Bible says, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge.
Right.
Well, here's the deal. Help is available for you. You don't have to go through life alone and play Russian roulette with your child's destiny, with your grandchildren's destiny. You can get help. Well, coach, where can I get help at? Right here. Build Your Best Life. Number one, put on that notification bell and tell yourself in 2024, I'm going to see what the scheduling are for Build Your Best Life, because I don't want to lose my son. I don't want to lose my child. And there is a free service by just watching Deacon Dan. Every time a guest shows up on this platform, they're providing free content. You know that people, I need help. Are you appreciating the free content with Build Your Best Life is offering? That's number one. Number two, I'm going to say, if you have not gotten the book, after you've been taking advantage of the free content, which is you should, utilize the free content to the best of your ability, go for the book. Go for the book. And then I love looking at Coach Deborah's book when she shows it, how she has every page. She went through that thing. My. See it right there, right? That's the book. So she went through that thing, underline, highlight, because you know what? It's not only getting the book, it's making a commitment to extract what you need out of the book. Now, a lot of books are purchased every year, and there are some people who buy the book only to say, I got your book. But the question is, did you fell into the pages of that book and grab a hold of what that book was supposed to do for you and your children? And then last but not least, I want to encourage you to make it a commitment to every time you discover a truth, fight to live the truth you've discovered. Deacon Dan, we're on information overload. There is no shortage of content out there. Somebody can go back and raise a boy really well just over the last 2 years of Build Your Best Life videos.
Right.
Just every one of them, you just grab one principle every time you watch a video and you apply it, your parental skill is going to go up to the next level. Your understanding on dealing with your child, your teenager, your young adult is going to go up to the next level. My last point is, please make a commitment to activate what you've discovered. The Bible says the truth will set you free. But here's what I've discovered. The truth only sets you free when you fight to apply, when you activate it, not just knowing it. Because Deacon, now some people will watch what we talked about today, and they'll say, well, he ain't say nothing I don't know.
Right.
But the question is, are you doing everything that is being talked about? So Build Your Best Life is here to serve you. And then every time you listen, grab a hold of one of the truths and apply that truth so that you could be the benefactor of what you've gotten from this platform.
Yes, sir. All that is great information. All you have to do, parents, young men, if you're looking or watching this, pay attention.
Yeah.
Don't let, as they always say, you don't let it go, put it in one ear and go out the other ear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maintain it. Put it in your heart. Read. You read about it. I mean, when I was totally involved before I retired, I had to stay on top of everything. I had different states I had to work in. I had to stay on top of their laws. I had to stay on top of the our policies, whatever we had. And funny thing, we was in court one time, and the guy was questioning me. He's talking about this book. These are rules. You would know them for carrying them, and you know them for the rest of your life. I say, well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have to pick up that book and look through it quite often.
Yeah.
Because I have to maintain a whole lot of knowledge, and it ain't gonna just stay there, stick with me by not picking up a book, reviewing it. It's always good to review.
Yes.
It's always good to review. Well, thank you for sharing with us, to providing valuable information to assist young men and others build their best life. Please tell everyone how can they find you and how can they obtain your book.
Well, Deacon Dan, I got my book right here, man. I love this book right here. I have it on Audible now, and I've been listening to it. It's about two and a half hours listen time, and so I've been practicing listening to it, reading it. Because here's the deal: I wrote the book, but I want to make sure that I'm living this.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't want to get so active with so many other things that I'm not even in alignment with the book anymore. And so I love this book. They can go to ricardomiller.com and find the book, or Coach Ricardo Miller on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or YouTube, or Instagram. Coach Ricardo Miller. I'm the effective living guy. Okay. God bless you all.
Yeah. And then one thing I'm going to go back and reiterate, but effective. Don't keep that word in your mind. Effective. Not just living. You got to be effective with in your living. So Coach Ricardo has a great book. Grab it and read it. Coach Deborah Smith, Build Your Best Life.
Yes.
And you see the word that said build.
Build.
Build. You got to build your best life. Just like anything else you do. You build your credit status. You build your reputation. You got to build. So please, just think about those two effective words: effective and build.
Yes. I like it.
Yeah. Thank you all for tuning in. Please join us on Thursday, Coach Deborah, on Thursday, December 21st at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Thursday live with Coach Deborah Smith. Don't run out of gas. Remember, build your best life is our business. That's not a slogan. It's our commitment.
Come on.
We thank you, and it's been a great night. And, not only did I gain knowledge, but, I hope you gain some.
Thank you.
So thank you. Everybody be blessed.
God bless you.